Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price this Monday. As we open up the week, Bitcoin came back down below 41,900 with a candle low today of 41,822. We saw a test of this extremely important support level for a third time now, and we talked about us coming to this level being a bad case for Bitcoin because that would be showing weakness in the short term. But with the fundamentals still extremely bullish for Bitcoin, look at this headline. Bitcoin supply shock, only 12% of Bitcoin supply is on exchanges now. And you can see here with Glassnode, Ethereum exchange inflow volume reaching a 5-month low. Same thing with Bitcoin exchange inflow volume. So if we're not seeing an inflow of Ethereum and Bitcoin coming into exchanges, how are we going to see lower price levels if nobody is selling and people are accumulating? Notice here in the article, it says prolonged such trends can imply there's accumulation going on in the market. And you can see with the crypto and fear and greed index, we've had extreme fear for all of our readings for the last month, indicating that we are truly in a prolonged accumulation phase right now. And so I want to talk about some potential scenarios that we could expect here for Bitcoin. And one of those scenarios is the fact that because we have stalled out here at 41,950, we've already come down below this level. We've tested it twice now. This is the third test really that we're having at 41,950. Does that mean that we may need to see a small push to the downside before we see another spike of volume come in to initiate a reversal and a recovery for Bitcoin to see price levels get back above 45,000 US dollars? I think that this is probably the most likely scenario in the short term, that Bitcoin is probably going to slip below 41,950 for a brief amount of time just to test this range again between 41,950 and 38,000. But I don't believe we're going to see 38,000 before we're going to see another spike of institutional volume take the price back above 41,950, and that could be the catalyst that it takes for us to see a reversal in price. And I say that because we're actually seeing some interesting things on the outside markets that influence Bitcoin. One of those is the chart that factors in altcoins outside of Ethereum forming another higher high. It's continuing further up, indicating that we're actually seeing the altcoin market's doing very well right now, despite Bitcoin not really moving away from that undecided range between 41,950 and 44,800. And that's clearly shown here with the Cardano price above $1.48, which is an extremely important resistance that is now going to turn into support, heading towards our target of around $1.60, where we have confluence here with this market structural resistance and this 100-day moving average. Notice how the Cardano to Bitcoin price is actually testing its 200-day moving average right now, indicating that because Bitcoin has slowed down, we're actually seeing Bitcoin move into Cardano and other altcoins to push those US dollar valuations higher. We actually saw Cardano get back above Solana when it comes to its market cap recently here, with Solana around 40 billion and Cardano now at around 49 billion in market cap. And so here's another prime opportunity I think that is on the table here for a nice swing trade. We look at Solana testing its 200-day moving average for a second time. Is it going to hold with the Solana ecosystem growing, the fundamentals being extremely strong there? I think that this could be a very strong opportunity to be dollar cost averaging positions into Solana. I think that this is going to be the next breakout, and we might see that narrative where Bitcoin moves into these altcoins continue before we see the real move, and it might just take a little bit of price action back below 41,950 for Bitcoin to see a reversal, just so that we can at least get another confirmation of institutional buy pressure down below 40,000 US dollars possibly. I just don't know if Bitcoin is going to be able to get down to 38,000 with the on-chain metrics being extremely bullish, indicating that there's accumulation happening right now. It just doesn't seem like it would make sense for Bitcoin to be able to see further downside targets, at least right now in the short term. I think that it's going to be highly likely that Bitcoin can at some point or another come back towards this 200-day moving average where we just had a death cross right below that $50,000 level to at least have a test of that area, especially now that we're seeing Bitcoin move into altcoins, and that's clearly being shown with what happened to Cardano recently. And then another interesting puzzle piece here with traditional markets is US oil about to form new all-time highs again. And I wouldn't say all-time highs, but new yearly highs. And the reason that's important is because a lot of people are saying, oh, well, you know, with the Feds announcing that interest rates are going to rise, we're starting to see a slowdown with inflation. But that just doesn't seem to be the case here with a commodity like oil about to break even new further yearly highs. It looks like the narrative of inflation is still there. It's not just being, you know, taken away from the actual market prices. We're seeing the inflation still take effect. And so why would Bitcoin need to come down further if a commodity like US oil is about to break into new yearly highs, despite the Fed's interest rate hikes being priced into the market already? For the most part, we could assume that the market is forward looking and that it's pricing those type of scenarios in already. S&P 500 stalling here at this 50-day moving average, not seeing too much momentum today to open the week. Tomorrow's turnaround Tuesday. We're actually in the negative right now in the red, but we're only down 0.01%. So turnaround Tuesday, I think, would be probably to the upside tomorrow. I wouldn't say that we're seeing upside today, and so that would be an interesting puzzle piece. If the S&P 500 breaks further up, Bitcoin can potentially even follow that, because we know there's been a strong correlation there with traditional markets. One thing that we have to realize is that Bitcoin at this point is obviously in an undecided range, but it's showing more weakness than strength at 41,950, telling me, as I've said before, that the likelihood that we come below this level just to test maybe prices below 40,000 one more time is on the table. Will we see further downside below 38,000? I don't know if that's the most likely scenario, as I've said with the fundamentals. And what we really need for the bulls is a break above 44,800, and that could really bring a lot of momentum back into the market. If we see that break above 44,800, then we can probably assume 50,000 is back on the table. So very interesting time. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts from the live audience here. Ani Gabillon says, hello from Nashville. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you so much, Ani. Ethan says, thanks for the update, dude. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys expressing your appreciation, because, you know, we really want to hit 100,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel. We've been making videos for over 3 years now, every single day pretty much on the cryptocurrency market. It's time for 100,000 subscribers. We deserve it more than a lot of other YouTubers. I definitely can say that. And so thank you for the appreciation. Joshua says, thanks for the info on low BTC's planned exchanges. Soothes my soul. Bullish divergence on the 4-hour. Let's look at some indicators here. On the Ichimoku cloud, on the 4-hour, we're slipping below. It looks like it's still acting as a little bit of resistance, but I wouldn't say it's too concerning, because we're at least inside of the cloud. We're not below the cloud. We're finally seeing price action inside of the cloud, and we actually just flipped green. And so that's actually a huge bullish puzzle piece there, that the Ichimoku cloud, because Bitcoin has just stayed in this range for so long, it's actually starting to flip into the green side. Altcoins are already starting to move. Is that an indication that we could be seeing some momentum here for Bitcoin? I think that that's something that's on the table. And we recently had this new full moon come up, and that's actually when Bitcoin kind of free-falled away from its 200-day moving average. And so that's another interesting puzzle piece. Let's look at the VPVR. I haven't actually taken a look at this in quite some time. If we look at the VPVR, there's obvious volume here, and we can see here we are just kind of sitting inside of this volume pocket where there's a little bit less volume, but we know even above 38,000, like 39,300, there's a lot of volume that starts to come in. And so I think it would be very unlikely for Bitcoin to be able to get below this area here. There's strong support here. The reason there's so much volume here is this is where accumulation occurred from the last dip. Institutions bought that area. And so could we consider below that $39,000 level a floor for Bitcoin? I recently saw an article from the miners saying that Bitcoin at this point is at a 20% premium, even at current price levels. And at 34,000 is when miners would just be breaking even. And so 34,000 is like the hard cost right now for mining Bitcoin. And so could we really expect such a bullish asset to get down back to these accumulation areas below 39,000? I think that scenario is quite unlikely. I don't know if we're going to see that. So it's a very sensitive time here, testing 41,950 today, because that is the biggest support level that opens the door to 38,000. But when it comes to volume, the test today did not really show any significance with sell pressure or even buy pressure. And so that's why I said it might take just a little bit of a slip below 41,950 for us to just validate more institutional buy pressure below that $41,950 level to then be the catalyst for Bitcoin to move back above 44,800. I'm going to stick to that. I think that that's the most likely scenario here in the short term. Ishan says, yes, bro, you definitely deserve 100,000 subscribers. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the support. And I do want to also talk about what's happening here to some other parts of the market, like Bitcoin dominance. Notice how Bitcoin dominance looks weak. It is continuing to test levels below 40% dominance, indicating that the bull market is not yet over. And if Bitcoin dominance continues further down, that's a confirmation that the bull market and the total cryptocurrency market cap is going to continue further up. Because for Bitcoin dominance to come down, that's telling us that there's liquidity flowing into all of these other projects outside of Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency market, which could only drive the total market cap further up. And then the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, which leads altcoins staying above major resistance, which is now going to be support. It was previous resistance. 3 times we had points of contact here. And now we're back above this level, holding the midpoint of this channel, which is extremely bullish. This would actually be a prime time to be taking Bitcoin and moving it into Ethereum if we are bullish on the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart to potentially break back above 88,000 Satoshis. 75,000 Satoshis is the major support, and that's like pretty much the pullback range and the most amount of downside we could possibly see on this chart if we're assuming this in a macro bullish trend. If we get below this area here at 75,000 Satoshis, that wouldn't necessarily be too bullish for the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. But I'm expecting the altcoins outside of Ethereum to break out of this ascending triangle and drive the total market cap further up. And that's going to follow the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart to see strength above these market structural levels. So very nice to see that for altcoins, of course. DXY finding some support here at the 100-day moving average, just kind of slowing down here. So nothing too significant there. And then traditional markets aren't moving much. Gold to Bitcoin chart has been quite interesting. On the weekly chart, we've maintained price action above the 50-week and 20-week moving average. That's never a good thing for Bitcoin being strong on this chart. But I believe that with the Bitcoin to silver chart, we're actually getting a little bit of a better market structure because we're rejecting the 50-week moving average right now. And so this might be a little bit more of a hint as to what's happening there. You can even see here the gold to Ethereum chart not even able to get to this 50-week moving average yet. I still think that there's going to be continuation on the macro trend of further downside here, where Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to continue to overtake the market caps of gold and silver and really suck liquidity from those assets into their own ecosystems. So interesting time on a Monday to open the week, to say the least there. And I'm going to wrap up this live stream. Remember to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It's going to be an interesting week, to say the least, and I cannot wait to see how things start to unfold here, with 41,950 being a major support level here for Bitcoin. There's a possibility we can come down one more time below this area just to get that volume before we see a continuation of the upside. But just realize fundamentals right now are extremely bullish for Bitcoin. The on-chain analysis is extremely bullish. There's not much Bitcoin on exchanges to be sold right now. And more importantly, we're starting to see altcoins like Cardano move to the upside. We're starting to see altcoins like Solana consolidate at very important levels, like their 200-day moving averages. And so everything that I'm seeing on the charts indicates that we are either at a bottom, close to a bottom, or gonna see a bottom here very soon. It doesn't look like there's strong bearish momentum to the downside. So be very careful if you're shorting the market. And with that being said, Zach says, what about Ethereum? Here's the thing with Ethereum. Ethereum needs to break above 34.54 to continue to price discovery. If we break above 34.54, we get back above this 200-day moving average and this major structural resistance level, then it's a no-brainer that Ethereum can continue further up, because the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is still strong. We cannot consider it in a bear market. We can't consider it weak right now. The value of Ethereum against Bitcoin is still very bullish, and you can see that it hasn't even come down to the 200-day moving average. It's sitting and finding support at the 100-day moving average. And that's beyond the market structural support that it's finding support at. And so Ethereum is certainly still the more bullish asset, as I've been saying. Altcoins, and not just Ethereum, the ones outside of Ethereum, I think Solana is a better play right now, because people are obviously not so enticed about the decentralization aspect of Ethereum when we're starting to see all these DAOs get launched on Solana, for example. You know, if it costs 2 or 3 Ethereum to launch a DAO, when you can just do it for a couple cents or a couple dollars on Solana, do you really care about the decentralization? We're seeing more use case move into projects like Solana. And so I think that that's a very strong project there. Even Cardano coming back above the market cap of Solana with the anticipation of Sunday Swap coming out here soon. It's like, does Cardano really deserve to be ahead of Solana, with Solana's ecosystem already being used and growing? It has a lot of interoperability. We're seeing Aave and other major decentralized platforms, go into these ecosystems, and so you want to follow the institutions, follow the money, and follow the developers. Really is the key, I think. So, with that being said, if we have any other questions, somebody says, Cognition Design, LaCroix we trust. I've got Bang Energy this time, so we might need to get a sponsorship from Bang instead of LaCroix. I think that that's all the questions I see here on the live chat. And so I'm going to wrap up this stream. Remember to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, snipers, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until next time, snipers.